Hey you guys, this is Meg at Chasing Retro, and as promised, I'm going to give you an updated craft space tour. I want to preface by saying that it is not 100% finished yet. I still have some things that I don't have a spot for. I still have lots to clean out and put in the right places, and I have some things that I need to make some decisions about keeping or letting go of. Also, my ephemera boxes, if you will, where I just put ephemera vertically into a box to pull out of, those are an absolute wreck right now. I will show them to you briefly, but know that that is not part of this tour. I have a lot more work to do, but the main part of the work is now over, and I am so excited to show you guys the finished product and the myriad of creative ideas that I was able to utilize in this space. I hope it will help you with your space revitalization, or if you're making one for the first time. This is something that was a blessing in disguise. Having to move my desk so we can use the fireplace in case of a power outage during Winter Storm Fern ended up being a blessing, because it forced me to rethink my entire space, clean out, reorganize, finally put like things together, and condense and compile the things that I really, really wanted to keep and have within easy reach. I will explain that more as I go along. So let me give you a overarching big picture of the entire space, if you will. I don't know who remembers what it used to look like. If you don't remember what it used to look like, I have 2 previous tours of my craft space on my channel if you would like to search for them and watch those first. Otherwise, you can just watch this one and call this one the only one you watch on my channel, and that's fine too. This, I believe, is a better use of space and engineering, if you will. Also, a little bit of ergonomics thrown in. So before, my desk was in the center of this space, and to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, this is our dining room and this is our kitchen. So I have the back corner of the dining room and kitchen for my crafting area. It is what it is. We have children that still live at home, and that's a wonderful thing. I'm not pushing them out, but when they decide to move out, get a job, get married, whatever, one of their bedrooms will become my craft room. But I am really becoming to love this space, and I like being in the center of the hubbub and the activity of the home. So who knows, maybe I'll keep it here after that. So I slid the desk all the way over next to the screen door. Yes, I have a screen door hanging on my wall. That was the original screen door on this house. This used to be my grandparents' house. And when they built it in 1968, that was the builder's spec screen door. Back then, people used to use screen doors because not every house had central heating and air. So I hung that as soon as we moved in as decor, and then ended up loving it so much that it's still here. It was hidden behind this shelf right here. This little 3-book shelf was in front of that door, so you only saw the top part. I'm glad that I can see more of it now, and it's sitting right next to me in my desk chair. So let's start here and go around. This is the same 3-shelf bookshelf that I had before. It is not new by any means. You can kind of see that the shelves are starting to droop in the middle. It was a hand-me-down from my mom, and it works just fine, and I will keep using it until it completely breaks. So this has all of my little boxes and bins, mainly shoebox size boxes because it's deep enough for them. And I have labeled everything. I have collage fodder, library pockets. The one down there is not labeled, but paper strips, dried rose petals, filled out forms, blank forms, matchbooks, recipes, recipe cards. Here's my little sewing notions, postcards, carded seam binding, tiny scraps for making clusters. This I've never actually had to use because I never get bored and I never have a time in my life where I don't have a project in mind, but it's there if I want it. We have floral die cuts. I have a lot of die cuts and I store them in several places. Photographs, sewing lady stickers, die cuts, non-floral die cuts, I should say. Flashcards. I was finally able to take them out of my ephemera holder and put them in here. I like them better in a box. Pockets and belly bands. These are all the little tiny thin fussy cuts, both words and sewing pattern models. This is anything that I take apart box-wise, or say I get a new lip gloss and I like the packaging, I put it in here for using in my junk journals. And then a little tiny box over here with paper napkins. Although most of my paper napkins are up here to my right. This has not changed. These two shelves right here are the same. If you remember my other craft room tour, most of my paper napkins are up there in the little picnic basket. But this, I decided this would be a project for another time. It's not really not working right now. It just needs to be condensed a little bit. And so these are just two large bookshelves that have most of my books, and at the top I have magazines and magazine holders. Yeah, so that is the unchanged part. Let me show you more of what's new. This, I believe this was here last time I showed you guys. This is just a, this is the hamper that my son used in his nursery when he was a baby, and it holds all of my gift wrap and contact paper, shelf liner, whatever. This right here used to be turned 90 degrees, and it was sitting on the floor in front of my desk. It was a great way to hide my legs, hide the power cords, things like that. But honestly, the more I researched redoing this space, I knew I needed to get my storage vertical. I was doing a lot of horizontal and low-lying storage, and that was not working. I was running out of space. It was starting to pour into other areas. So I turned it 90 degrees. I got new cubes because the ones that I had were not matching. And this holds all of my fabric that is folded, mostly by color, that is bigger than a 1/4 yard. So as you can see, I have them roughly by colors. These down here are more multi. I have mostly multi-floral, truth be told. That's what I gravitate toward. But these are just perfect. Easy to find what I need really fast. This one has, I put all of my shimmery fabrics in a Ziploc bag. You will see in this tour that my two new favorite things are slide lock zipper bags. I guess that's not zipper if it's slide. Slide lock gallon bags and rubber bands. I have used so many of those things in this process. Okay, so now that it's turned 90 degrees, and not only that, do you see how it's sort of creating a corner with the other shelf? I ended up with a side that was ugly because I had screws that had been on the floor and they were dirty and scuffed, and it just looked bad. So I was like, oh, I have a space now to put my favorite posters. So this will be a rotating poster display. Some of this was sent to me in Happy Mail. This is a little Japanese book of origami. And this is a set of library posters that I found at my craft reuse store a couple years ago, and they've been hidden away and not able to be enjoyed. Okay, so I'm rotating over here for a second. This is a cabinet, a built-in cabinet next to the fireplace, and this still holds a lot of my books. I really, really, really have too many books. This has shown me that more than any other space revamp, but I'm having to turn them all different ways to fit them in here. I'm so glad this shelf is strong. On top of here is part of the mess I was talking about. This is one of my ephemera stations. I have this little crocheted mermaid kitty that I got at a college craft fair. So his name is Little Bit, by the way. This is just a mess. So this will all be revamped, but this is stuff like tickets and Bible verse cards and bingo cards, insurance cards, things like that. Above here is all journals that I have either made or purchased from other makers. And yeah, I've got a couple down here that need to be added, but this is where I store all of those. I want to see them every day. I want to enjoy their beauty. The spines are almost as beautiful as the front. So this is where I put all of my journals. So the fireplace to the left here has a really wide hearth, and it used to just be behind me as I sat, and it would just pile up with things, just things that I didn't have room for that would get in my way. I would just turn around and slap them down on the hearth. No more. I have turned this into a functional storage space. Is that a new shelf, you ask? Why, yes it is. I think we all had some snow day or ice storm purchases. This was mine. I ordered this off of Walmart.com. I ordered some cubes off of Amazon, and it fit perfectly between the little holders of my fireplace screen. Now, if we ever need to use the fireplace, my husband can just lift it off and scoot it into the next room. But it gives me functional storage space that is literally right behind me, and it actually brightens up the room a little bit because the fireplace was just this black hole when it's not being used. So over here we have some pre-cut fabric strips. I've had these forever. This is just a little basket with tulle and faux leather. And here I finally have all of my quilt squares together. And in the bottom I have quilt toppers, folded quilt toppers that I have found at estate sales and such. I organize them in bags by shape. This whole thing is full of rickrack, both on the card and also loose and on a spool, like the kind you get at Hobby Lobby. Very excited to have all of it in one box. This was actually a box that a journal came in that I ordered. Actually, my husband got it for me for Christmas last year, and I love that she packages her journals in these boxes because you can use them as storage later. This is my mini cutter, tucks right there, my envelope punch, and a cutting board. Underneath, on this side and on this side, are, I would call it scrap fabric, but bigger than 4 or 5 inches. Maybe 4 inches is the cutoff. So this is just little tiny pieces of fabric that I'm done with, or that I find in the scrap bins at my reuse store, and they spoke to me. The pattern was making me smile, whatever. I bring it home with me, and this is where they go. And so these are big enough to use for tags and things like that. Some of them may be big enough for a spine, but usually not. They're usually weird shapes, but I can definitely pull from this when I'm making clusters and tags. Same thing on this side. This one has some more space, which means I can look for more next time I go to the store. I'm just kidding. I'm going to try not to bring as many scraps home until I use what I have. This is just a little pull-out basket, and this has my Texture Boutique metal dies, more metal dies in the packaging. There are my embossing folders, and here are all the extra plates and things. Down here are some carded trims that were too large to fit where the other trims go. So this is not upholstery trims. Those are now, upholstery trims are all now in my hall closet. They were just taking up so much space, all those big tassels and things, that I wanted them out of my main space. I don't really use upholstery trim that much on journals. I mainly use it for home decor and when I'm embellishing clothing, like if I'm putting something around the bottom of a pants leg. So I didn't think it needed to be in my space for journaling. I finally got my buttons out of plastic shoe boxes, and they're now in here. And I put them into slide bags. This is all the cards. I have 2 bags of loose buttons, and then I have a bag of buttons in packages. Some of these are from Hobby Lobby. You might recognize the little flowers. One of my goals this year is to organize my buttons by color. Yes, I said it. I did my beads that way, and I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I have. It has been a game changer. All right, excuse my fingernails, y'all. I haven't done anything to them since I started this. Okay, pom-pom trim and washi tape. I really don't know a better way to store washi tape. I know people hang them on the wall, on dowels and stuff, but I don't like pulling off washi tape if it's on the wall. I have trouble enough as it is tearing it straight, so I just threw it in here. I hope this will be okay. And pom-pom trim is exactly what it says. Box full of happy. On spools, loose, and yeah, mainly on spools. All of these boxes that you see were either given to me by my mom, or I found them at a yard sale, estate sale. I don't know that I've bought any of these new. That's the beauty of yard selling, is you can find storage options for cheap as well. On top here, and I said I wasn't going to put anything on top, but I had to put a few things. I didn't want to cover up my art print. This is just a selection of some of my favorite containers that have a purpose. This hat box holds pre-made ruffles. This beautiful little cookie tin holds my labeling machine and all my tape. I actually have 3 labeling machines. And then this sewing basket has all of my appliques. And these little wedding dresses that someone sent to me. Over here, next to my sewing machine, is my thrifted cardboard, is this a hexagon, octagon box of small scraps. So these are the scraps that are not really big enough for anything other than clusters. So I just keep those here. And then at the bottom are punches. Now, one of the tips that I learned while watching tons of organization videos is the things like this that you have a lot of, but maybe only use 5, 6, 7, 8 of them every day. Put those within easy reach and store the rest. So that's what I'm doing. That is that personified in this format. Now the lid will close. Before I took those others out, this was just bursting at the seams. So now I have a box behind me if I need it, but these are out of the way. This is my sewing area, as you might remember. One of the things that I did do, I pulled this box of sari silk out of the hall closet because I was forgetting that I had it. This is a chindi rug that I took apart, and I really hope that now that it's in here, I'll see it and I'll use it more. There are paper dolls down there. I just didn't have anywhere else to put them. These are the little throwaway plastic bags that you get when you buy new things, like packaging. I do reuse those for Happy Meal and orders. And here is my 3-drawer cart. All of the fabric in here is roughly fat quarter yard or 1/4 of a yard. And I have it organized by color. And then up here, as you know, is my sewing desk. And this now is directly across from where I sit. So I actually got rid of a chair. I had a chair at my desk and a chair at my sewing corner. I was able to take away one of the chairs, and that was a big space saver, let me tell you. So now I can just roll back and forth between the 2 areas. Super helpful. All right, my desktop is not finished yet. I still think I have too much on it. I would like to invest in maybe some other types of lighting that I could clip to get some of these lamps off my desktop, although I do love the lamps. I'm afraid that I'm gonna knock one over and break it. But this is what I have right now, my little fan for blowing away glue fumes. This is just a diagonal, or triangle rather, file system that I got off Amazon, and it's perfect for things like this, like folders that I'm actively working out of. I plan to have a sort of system of current projects in stackable basket format that I can just stack at the end of the day and then unstack to work on them the next day. So this is here just as a reminder that I need to look for more of these. Here's my little mat. I significantly cleaned this out, so now I washed it too. This is an old Pampered Chef tool turnabout, if you remember those. It was hardly turning because it was so dusty, so I took it completely apart. I even cleaned the ball bearings, so it works great now. Most of my tools are not on here though. You'll see where most of them are. This is going to be my Lazy Susan for glues, and I'm gonna keep this, I believe, because I use a lot of different glues and I really like them to be near me. This is from Dollar Tree and it has been wonderful. I have them in my pantry. I have these in my fridge. Run to see if they still have them at your local Dollar Tree. They're worth the $1.25. This is where I keep my reading glasses. These are two more little Dollar Tree pen cups that I may or may not use, to be determined. I have a office lamp here. This is my apothecary jar with sari silks. And then this was the jar that we used to keep our puppy's treats in. And after he passed away, I didn't know what to do with it. And I have decided this is the perfect thing to store my trinkets in. My trinkets used to be in a cardboard box that was functional, but I couldn't see them. And they make me happy. They're so colorful. And they remind me of being a kid. So it looks like a toy store now. I have to have a clock near me because I can't read the one in the kitchen from where I sit. Okay, are you ready for the big thing I'm excited about? Oh, I'm so excited. A revelation while watching videos about craft spaces was create a nook for yourself and turn everything in toward you. Well, I sort of turned some things away from me with the shelving, but I created a nook, okay? I created a U-shaped nook for crafting, and you can see it here. It is a U shape. It's like a little galley kitchen, if you will, but only one entrance and exit. I used to have two entrances and exits. I had a pass-through on either side, and not only was that, it was silly, really, because every time I went through, I was knocking stuff off because the walkways were so narrow. The flow did not make sense at all. So the first thing I did was to create one entrance and exit and said, that's it. Turning the two shelves away from me, I looked at the back of them and I'm like, oh, they're ugly. They're brown. I don't want to look at that. This is my new craft space. I don't want to sit and stare at brown cardboard. So someone on Pinterest, I don't know who it is, suggested replacing the backs of your particle board bookshelving units with pegboard, and a light went off in my brain. I was like, oh my goodness, yes. So the first day that the snow melted off the roads and we were able to safely get out, we went to Lowe's and I bought the largest sheet of white pegboard they had, and I had them cut it down for me. And my sweet husband took all of the old cardboard off, pried it off, and then hammered this back on. Guys, I cannot overestimate how important it is to use every square foot of space when you have a small craft room. And this is one of the best ways to do it. I love this so much. My heart is just happy when I look at it. To be determined if I keep this arrangement. I really don't know how it will flow when I'm actually crafting, but this holds things that I use every day, but not every hour. So you kind of have to put it into priority sections, okay? What do you use multiple times an hour? What do you use multiple times a day? What do you use once or twice per project? And what do you use once or twice per couple of months? The last thing I said needs to be as far away as possible from you. That's what I put in the hall closet. The things that I use once or twice a project are things that are harder to get to that aren't next to my desk. The things I use every day but not every hour are going to be here. And the things that I use every hour, every minute of every hour, I will show you last. But this is just a pegboard, large piece of pegboard cut down. And then I purchased this to go with it. I don't know what you guys have near you. I'm sure Home Depot has something similar. We have Lowe's. And so this was a pegboard organizer kit, and it came with, well, everything you see here, minus the plastic baskets. I added that. And this is what I have left over. Some of the things I don't think are usable really for craft spaces. They're more for tools, but that's okay. I think I got my $16 worth out of it by far. I bought these as well for my roller carts, but I think I might take them back because I found some at Dollar Tree instead. I'll get my money back for those. But like this right here, these scissors, these are the little holders for screwdrivers. And then there are some straight hooks like that, but there are also curved hooks like that, and you can use those for hanging Dollar Tree pencil baskets. Here is another Dollar Tree shelf. It's a wire shelf, and I hung it on 2 hooks, and it holds all of my blank notebooks, sketchbooks, and mixed media, my small mixed media notebooks. I just hung some fun stuff on here that I still had in the packaging that I want to remember to use, like those stickers. Also just to make me happy to look at them. All of my reinforcements are now here on this little hook. I have pencil sharpeners in here. Well, this is Bubbles for my cat because he likes Bubbles. And then I have rubber bands and staples in these little jars. I use these every day, but not every hour, so I wanted these near me. These are all my stencils. I don't use my stencils every day, but I thought maybe if I had them next to me, I would. So that's why they're here. And then this is a paper crimper. Here are my jewelry tools. I may need to move those out because they're a little cramped. All of my extra blades and stuff are gonna go here, and here's my rotary cutter. Here are my shipping stickers. So when I wrap up a package, this will be accessible from either side of my desk. I can just reach over and grab them. This was one of the ideas I was most excited about. These are all of my fabric and paper ribbon, or quilt. This is called quilt edging. I wanted all of those on sort of dowels, so we had a dowel in our garage, and then I used a chopstick for this one. And then this one is on an embroidery hoop. I just threaded them through and put them on a hook. And this basket just tucks in here. This is a basket with all of my wallpapers. Okay, I haven't shown you under the desk and in the desk drawers. So over here, this has not changed. This holds all of my trim by color in bags. I have done this for the past year, and again, it has been a game changer. So that's where all of it is. Many of you have expressed ways that I can reorganize my lace. I used to talk about getting stuck with straight pins. No more. I switched all of my straight pins to safety pins, and I organized my lace by width, color, and type. So it's still a very full drawer, but now I know what I am dealing with for each bag. And like like I said, there's no sticky pins anymore. This drawer, as deep as it was just full of lace. And I was afraid to put my hand down in there to look for something. All the really narrow ribbon laces fell to the bottom, as they often do. And so to get the small laces, I was getting stuck 10 or 12 times with pins. This does away with that problem. So yay, maybe I'll use lace more as well. On this side, I did the same thing with ribbon. I had my ribbon in a large Rubbermaid tote, but it was terrible because if I saw one I wanted at the bottom, I had to dump out the whole tote to get to it. So I did the same thing with ribbon as I did with the loose ribbon. These are all ribbons on spools, I should say. Here's the blues. Actually, I have 2 bags of blue. What is it about blue? I feel like I buy more or they make more. Here's all the pinks. You get the picture. This is just a great way to organize if you have a deep drawer. That was one of the things that the research showed me is deep drawers need to either have light things in them or things that can be broken up into smaller pieces and more maneuverable. And so that's what this is. What was in here was just junk. I was just throwing junk in this drawer. So now I have, these aren't terribly heavy and they're now compartmentalized. So it's not just an overwhelming drawer full of spools. And for what? You know, it cost me, what, $4.50 for a bag of the gallon zipper bags? Go get you some. Try it out. Nothing has changed here. This is still my file drawer. I really need to go through this. These are all my journal themes. Either done or waiting to be done. And if it's in here and it's been done, it probably means I'm going to make more. If I'm not going to make more, I usually turn them into ephemera packs and sell them. So this is a roller cart. Roller drawer set, I should say. Rubbermaid. It's from the 90s, I think. I found it at an estate sale. This used to hold lace. I mean, and lace and trim. And I'm like, I have lace and trim in about 10 different places. This is silly. So I completely transformed what this holds. It is now exclusively things that I will use while sitting at my desk. The unfortunate thing about these drawers is you have to open them with 2 hands. So this drawer will hold my most used inks and daubers, mixed media, liquids, if you will, gesso, mediums, iridescent medium, more gesso. All of my stickles are in here, glitter glue, dimensional magic. Yeah. So now I have these closer to me. My stamps are not going to be in this room. They're going to be in the hall closet because I don't use my stamps every day. But I do use my ink every day. Let me open this one. Okay. This was sort of a stretch, and I think I'm gonna like it. I had a lot of just small boxes and index card holders and things, and I decided to put them in a drawer. We'll see how it works. So I have price stickers, gummed seals. All of my labels are in this little box. Game pieces. I use this when I make charm dangles, charm tassels, cabochons. Over here we have cut aparts from paper pads, and anything that's a bedazzler or bling or like the little acrylic dots that you decorate pages with, they're in there. Gold leaf, can't live without it. Whale tails are in this box. And this is felt letters and numbers. So these used to be kind of hidden away and forgotten about. I really hope I'll use them more now. The last drawer holds beads, and I have a big box of beads that's separated by colors. It's one of those photo holders. But this is everything else. This is everything else for making jewelry or charms, charm dangles, or whatever. All of my beading cord is now in this bag. I think this is an Ipsy bag. Seed beads. These are brooches. These are strung beads and necklaces. So if I ever want to take these necklaces apart for beads, they're in here. This is, I've already opened it. A box of overflow beads. These are just alphabet beads, and these are earrings. I like to use clip-on earrings for sort of like a paper clip in journals. So again, it was kind of a stretch for me to put this kind of stuff in here, but I really think I'm gonna like it. The drawers are holding the weight okay. All right, I kind of saved the best for last. So you're probably asking me, where are your scissors? Where are the glues that you use every day? Where are your punches? You know, what do you need next to you all the time that I didn't see on your desk? That's where the beauty of the roller cart comes in. I have 4 roller carts. There's 3, and here's 4. This is one from IKEA. It's a really pretty slate blue. And this cart will hold all the things that used to be on a really short table that was not next to me. Never next to me. I had to go around, had to get up and go around my desk every time I needed any of these little things. Paper flowers, fabric clusters, Anna Griffin, collage papers, retail number stickers, alphabet stickers, things like that. Also, look what I found at Dollar Tree. I found it over the cabinet door towel holder. Get one of these guys. It will act like it will not come apart, but if you pull and twist hard enough, it will, and you can put a paper towel roll on there. And I am gonna love having this next to me as I work. I was having to run to the kitchen to get paper towels at once an hour or so. So I have about as many cups as I can fit on here. These are the cups that you can snap on with IKEA. But these are all the tools that I reach for all day, every day, numerous times a day. I have a fun pencil cup that I've started. I saw that on someone else's channel and I was like, I want a fun pencil cup. So fun pen and pencil, I should say. So whenever I buy a fun pen, it will go in here. These are the punches I use most. And then I have a stapler, tiny attacher, and hole punch. Scissors, decorative scissors, crocodile, pens and pencils. All right, so let me show the other one. This one is the one that I'm not really sure what to do with yet. It has always had these things on top. These are just envelopes with fussy cut images from books and magazines. I probably need to redo these. They're just starting to fall apart. But if I need to decorate a tag and I need a picture of a little kid playing in the sandbox, I look in here. I probably can find it. These are envelopes and pocket folders that I've made, other people have made, things like that. And I just stuck them on here. There's some junk mail in here. This is not supposed to be here. Just other things to hold more ephemera in. Here's another little wire basket, and this one holds all of my game tallies, game score sheets and things. This is probably not where they'll stay, but here's all my paint chips, and I have a paint chip fan deck. Coin wrappers. Here are my color cards that you guys know that I love now. And I don't think this is going to stay here, but look how well this Big Shot fits there. Maybe it will stay there. It matches the cart. It's cute. And then I have another box that's empty, but I want to use it because it's cute. So this is the cart that says, hey, buy more craft supplies to fill me up. This is a narrow cart. I love this cart. I found this at a yard sale. I love it so much. I think it's the kind that's supposed to like fit next to your toilet or something. But I used zip ties and attached Dollar Tree baskets. Actually, this is Hobby Lobby basket. This is Dollar Tree. This is from Hobby Lobby's spring line that they have every year. So I just attached the baskets to the edge because there was no other way to attach storage to the edges. And then I just started collecting jars, tins, everything that I had in my stash or could get out of the fridge and clean out real quick. And I just started putting things in here that are, I would call this hardware. So this is mainly a hardware cart, but there's also embellishments on here too. Like there's some chipboard flowers and there's some bows. Fabric washi, snippet strips. These are strips cut and ready to make more snippet strips with. Here are all of my shaped brads, regular brads, and eyelets. And down here we have bulldog clips, book corners, rings, hooks, clamps, chain, all kinds of fun stuff. And here are all of my paper clips and ball pens. Okay, and then the last cart is over here. And this is called the current project cart. Well, I'm about to start on a project. And as you can see, there's some things sitting here that will be used in it. This is the House and Home, the start of the House and Home ephemera collection point. I know that this cart is not big enough to hold everything I'll be using, but it gives me a central place to hold all of the things that I know I'm going to be using. As I go through and I go through my fabric stash and my books and stuff, I just start adding it to this cart and I can organize it later. I found these at the Dollar Tree. I found these at the Dollar Tree. I found these at the Dollar Tree. And I don't know if I'll use them. I just stuck them to this cart to see. And they can be moved among all of my carts. But for $1.25, I was like, you know what? Better to have more than I need and than to not get them and wish I had them. So this is the current project cart. Let me show you something cool now. Okay, say my husband says, oh, did you remember that our friends, the Quincy's, are coming over for dinner? Oh my goodness, I did not remember that. This craft room is a mess. Hold on a second. Let me get everything put away. We really don't have friends named the Quincy's. It was just the first thing that popped in my head. This one is a little bit harder to roll. I think I need to clean the casters. It's not wanting to steer straight. There we go. And one more. Okay, guys. The main thing about this space, in any space, if you want it to be clean and easy to manage, make it modular. If you can put it on wheels, put it on wheels. In fact, I'm going to add wheels to this. I already have wheels on this. So say we have Thanksgiving and we have 32 people coming to my house. I can slide the desk is not moving. It weighs 4,445 pounds. But everything else can slide back and tuck into this U shape, and I have room for another table for guests to sit at. Modular and rollable is the key. And I wish it had not taken me 4.5 years to figure this out, but oh my goodness, it is a game changer, guys. Okay, one more thing to show you, and then I have to go. This video is going to be 4 years long. You guys know that I used to have a big basket of scraps, and every time I needed to, I have a picture of something and I wanted to back it in green cardstock. I had to flip through this entire basket of every color and pattern imaginable. Big time waster. Not really a space waster, but big time waster. So, look what I did. It took me 2.5 hours, but I sat on the floor and I organized all of my scraps into folders by color. Now I have all of the pinks in here. I have all the teals in here. And after a project is done, I will take that big pile of scraps that sits on my desk or in a basket, and I will file them away where they need to go. I think this is going to revolutionize how quickly I can get ephemera made. I hope so. It also keeps you from not knowing that you already have a red piece that would be perfect, but you don't see it. So you go and you get a brand new red piece. That's wasteful. So this allows me, look at how much white I have. This allows me to have better control of my inventory. I have a lot of multicolored paper, so I've separated them into categories such as geometric, floral, and other. And then I also have metallic and Franken-paper that I haven't done anything with. And these are just extra file folders back here. And these are gift bags to be made into journals at some point. It was just a cute place to put them. I don't think I left anything out, guys, but let me know what your favorite part was of this craft space reveal. I really feel like I could take a 3-month nap right now. I'm so tired. My hands are so tired and dry and just beat up, but I am so thrilled that this project was forced onto me, because it has allowed me to make something that could have been an inconvenience into an opportunity. And I'm so excited to keep organizing and finding new places for this. If you guys have any tips on how to store this type of ephemera in a way that you can see it all without it looking like a bomb went off, please share that with me. But I'm so excited about this part. I've got this part working and functional, and I think I can start creating now, and this other part can come later. Thank you for sticking with me till the end if you're still here, and I hope you guys have a lovely day. Talk to you next time. Bye.